Hi there, this is Solitary Owens from Solitary Owens Films, and welcome to another random review. Today's random review is Monsieur Gangster, or Crooks and Clover, or Les Tontons flingueurs, from 1963, directed by Georges Lautner, another French director that I'm not familiar with, but I'm probably going to end up going down a rabbit hole. Starring Lino Ventura, who has done a fair few gangster films in his time, including his debut, Touchez pas Grisby, with Jean Gabin, which is fantastic, which I did a random review of a couple of years ago probably. It also stars Bernard Blier, Francois Blanche, and Horst Frank. And this is a gangster comedy. It's very droll and dry. You're probably going to think it's funny, or you're not going to think it's funny. It does descend into slapstick as well at certain points. This is an Olive Region A Blu-ray. This only has a trailer as the special features, but the film itself is absolutely fantastic. It stars Lino Ventura, as I said, and we join him as he runs a tractor company out in the countryside, and he is called back to go and see an old gangster friend. He has went straight, as they say, and he says he'll only be away a couple of days. So he's called back to see the Mexican, who's not actually Mexican, it's just he was exiled to Mexico, but he's come back to die, essentially. I mean, this film has characters that Guy Ritchie would be proud of. It has the Mexican, the tomato, the kraut, Montreal Teddy is named, Montmartre Lulu and Susie the Smile are all mentioned. So it does have a bunch of names that Guy Ritchie would be proud of. So the Mexican is dying, and he wants Lino Ventura to take over his business, but more importantly to protect his daughter Patricia, who he had with Susie the Smile. And obviously Lino Ventura is not that keen on doing this, and there's also a bunch of gangsters who aren't too keen on Lino Ventura taking over, including the Volfonis brothers, one of whom is Bernard Blier, and the kraut who's Horst Frank. There's a couple of the top guns. Pascal is on Ventura's side, and the top gun for the Volfoni brothers is his cousin. So there's a couple of deaths early on, and Ventura thinks it is Bernard Blier and his brother. So the two top guns decide to resign, because at one point, if it does figure out to be the Volfonis brothers that's trying to kill Ventura, at one point they're going to have to shoot each other, and as they say, that would just ruin a family, so they're resigning. They come back later in the film. There's lots of wonderfully funny attempts on Ventura's life. Ventura does have a habit of punching Bernard Blier, and there's a lovely little cheeky theme on the score every time he does it, and puts Blier in hospital. And there's also the side story of Patricia and her fiance Antoine, who is a avant-garde composer and is really annoying because that's his job, and he winds Ventura up all the time as Ventura tries to get rid of him, until he finds out that his father is actually like a vice president of the monetary fund. And arguably the best scene in the film, there's a shootout with using suppressors on the guns, which is absolutely hilarious because all the guns make these ridiculous noises. And the father-in-law has turned up to the house to ask on Antoine's behalf for Patricia's hand in marriage, and he's a bit deaf, so he's not actually hearing the gunshots, or as the windows and the plaster is falling from the ceiling after being shot, Ventura has to make up excuses of what the noise is and why there's plaster falling from the ceiling. It's just a wonderful scene. It's wonderfully shot, and it's just really silly and fantastic. There's another scene where the Volfonis brothers turn up to this party that Patricia's had or having, and they want to pretty much have it out with Lino Ventura, and they end up getting unarmed, and the whole bunch of them end up making more sandwiches for the party, and getting drunk on the moonshine that the gang produces, which makes them drunk very, very quickly. You get the sense that these gangsters aren't actually that efficient or that good. The madam that runs the prostitution ring for the gang blames TV soap operas for clients, a reduced number of clients, because they can't compete with soap operas. The moonshine that they sell, they say people just don't want to buy it anymore. Cheap whiskey's actually better. So they're not the smartest gang in the world, they're not the richest gang in the world, and Ventura just has inherited these headaches. So he's got Patricia to worry about, and then he's got all the attempts on his life and people turning up dead that he's got to deal with. It's just played wonderfully. The plot is like a Melville, but played for laughs. It perhaps gets bogged down a little bit in the second half, but overall it's just a lot of fun. Really nicely shot by Lautner or Lautner. Really nice group compositions of all the characters. Obviously they're whittled down as we go, and then it all comes to a head at the wedding day, where even before the wedding, Ventura has to go and take care of some business, and there's a nice shootout in the distillery. There's some good fun fights in the film. There's well choreographed shootouts. Like I say, the one with the suppressors and everybody's guns is absolutely hilarious and quite wonderful. It's just a fantastic little film. Again, I'm probably going to have to add Lautner to a list of directors that I need to see more films of. He did a bunch more films of Ventura. He did a lot of films with Alain Delon. And obviously I do like Ventura, and I do need to get a lot more of his stuff. Obviously I've done a video on La M Endure, or Pain in the Ass, which was remade by Billy Wilder as Buddy Buddy. I mentioned Touchy Pas Grisby, which is fantastic, and To La Classe Risque, which is wonderful as well. And obviously he was in The Medusa Touch, even though he was dubbed into English. Yeah, highly recommend it if you like your gangster comedies with a bit of class. Monsieur Gangster, or Le Tonton Flingueur from 1963 is a lot of fun. So thanks very much for watching this random review. Please let me know if you've seen Monsieur Gangster before, or any other Georges Lautner films you could recommend, and hopefully join me again for more random reviews. This is Solitude from Solitude Films, saying farewell.